Hello and welcome back. Today is July the 20th, 2025, and I hope that wherever you are in the world that you're doing and feeling well. And let's get started. I'd like to talk a little bit about symbiotic feeling and sensing, and then also in the same short video about remote healing, because they kind of went together on a story I'd like to share with you here. So this is many years back, but between the time that I owned my physical business, that I left California and moved into Cloquet, Minnesota, February 1st of 2003, and it was closed as of October 1st, 2020 due to the launching of the pandemic. So I opened up a physical business on my own, not really knowing anyone, being 40 years old. And I parlayed out a massage therapy certificate and provided Esalen massage and also wellness under the same business license and rented physical business space. Well, after a time, after the first maybe 2 years or so of that 17 and a half years before the pandemic shuttered my business for many reasons, and my son had died, I had clients that would come in, and one lady who came probably from the first couple of months I opened, probably the first month or two that I opened, a wonderful woman who was a little bit my elder, a little bit few years ahead of me. And she came faithfully every 2 weeks for all those years, for 17 years. And she's one person that I would just get symbiotic feelings, and we're used to symbiotic as a biological term, meaning that, the shark and the remora, one would feed off the other one, and one's getting barnacles cleaned off of it while the other one's kind of eating and getting a safe ride through the ocean. But there's another interpretation about that, which is a mutually beneficial relationship. So as human beings, human animals, we are also very, very deeply sensing. And we fare a lot better when we're connected and we try to put aside the bullshit and we try to just get along and find the commonality that we have instead of complaining about each other about how they don't eat the same or think the same or dress the same or have the same political ideas. We still are human beings. We're still part of the herd, most of us. Nietzsche talked about the herd. You can look that up. It's pretty interesting. So let me get into it because I'd like to share this with you briefly as possible. I had many friends on Facebook. I still have many friends on Facebook, that people that I've never met in person, of course. And yet you see their posts and you kind of get to know them a little bit through their posts and their images, and you think, wow, that's kind of a neat person. And that's why you sort of keep them as a friend on Facebook, right? And many of the people you don't even talk to really on direct message, you don't DM them or anything like that. But in this case, I had experience from working by coming in and putting my hands on people lovingly and tenderly and offering them therapeutic, deep medicine level massage, where I was able to include reflexology and this beautiful, loving, but very therapeutic Esalen style massage. Because of my physical fitness and the optimization of my health over 35 years until recently, my health was just absolutely on point. So I never had any hand pain, elbow pain, arm pain, back pain, leg pain from standing and doing hard physical work, which was very different from doing the family law specialist paralegal work, which I'd done prior to that, because we all are going to need to make money to be able to float our boat, pay for our children and our homes and our mortgages and our food and all the things that we pay for, that we now have an artificial cost of living, in quotes. So I noticed within a relatively short period of time, maybe within the first 2 years at the most, that sometimes I would be getting ready. I'd go to the gym in the morning and drink a bunch of water and make a fresh juice or a smoothie. And I'd really go really prepared and fresh and ready to receive people with a beautiful hug, a warm mama smile, and, really provide excellent customer service and an even better massage and medicinal massage. But I had many, many people that, probably thousands and thousands of hours in over 17 and a half years just in Minnesota, that before they would come, I would get just a distinct feeling of something. It might be like a clog in my throat or a little bit of heart palpitations. It might be that I got a little bit of dizziness, that they were going through vertigo. And I came to realize, oh, wait a minute, that's not me. That's not me having the experience per se. That's me feeling a symbiotic reaction with what's going on with the client that's coming, the person that's coming. And so I got to the point where I got such a comfort and an ease with this, sensing and knowing, right? That I would say, is something going on with your throat today? Or, do you have a hip pain going on? Or why does it feel like there's a cotton ball in the back of my throat with the woman that lived in Superior, Wisconsin? That happened twice with her. And she'd say, I don't know how in the world you do that. And I say, well, whatever I can do, I'm absolutely 100% certain anyone else can do. And it's just me tuning in, which is why in my Detox and Heal Your Thyroid book, I talk about becoming tuned, right? Attuned and tuned in. We all have an antenna and we all need to know how to use it, because the coming big tech and the BCI, the brain computer interface, which I'm vehemently against, is going to supersede and give you another form of telepathy, which is not what you actually came in with innately. That's why I told you there's a limited amount of time for me to kind of get on board here with giving you guys as much as I want to. So I'm going to try to be a little quick and omit a little bit more detail. So I'm sitting home at night, probably 7, 8 o'clock at night or something like that. And there's a woman in South Africa, and all of a sudden she comes up in my arena, which means in my third eye. I can see her in like a holographic type of a way by focusing inside. I don't even know how to put it into words, really, but I'll do my best. And all of a sudden I'm like, God, she's in pain. So I DM her. I see that her light's on, the green light's on for Facebook at that time. This is, sometime after 03, probably around 2010 or something like that. And she's a younger woman who was in training to be a Sangoma in South Africa. So she, I didn't know her all that well. Hadn't DM'd her before. Didn't really have a whole lot of correspondence with her, but, she could tell I liked her and vice versa. And so I said, why am I getting this terrible stomach pain and it feels like it's yours? She said, how in the hell did you do that now? I said, well, it's just something that, it's just something that naturally occurs. I think we all do it when we get connected with people. She goes, I am laying here. It's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. She's 7 hours ahead in South Africa, in Pretoria. And she said, I've got terrible, excruciating stomach pain, and I can't get to sleep or anything. It's just terrible. I'm just going to feel terrible tomorrow. And I said, well, how about if I send you some energy healing, remotely? She said, can you do that? And I said, well, let's do it anyway. Let's just, I believe this is going to happen, and I've done this before, so this would be wonderful. So she told me a couple of minutes later, I said, go ahead and close your eyes, take a few nice deep breaths and relax a little bit, and I'm going to send that over to you. And she DM'd me back, direct messaged me back and said, I can't believe it, Shaman, but I feel incredibly better. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to sleep. And I said, that's wonderful. I said, we're just two women that have connected from across all these miles. And I think it's just absolutely wonderful. So that was my very short podcast on symbiotic feeling and sensing and remote healing. And there's been many, many, many of them. And there's so much more that I want to give you, but I got to ask you a favor. I'm looking to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without your upvotes, your comments, your engagement, without you supporting me before I'm also gone on this earth. I just turned 64 on Friday, July the 18th, and I'm on my own, and I'm looking to connect with other people and build a lively, viable channel where I can get on live, get back on the screen at some point, and do live streams where you can ask your health questions. You can have maybe 3 really nice questions during a live stream, and have a regular check-in with people and really have some great shares. I think you would really enjoy them, about many of the experiences that I've had with 42 years of, starting off as a basic health coach and working into a medicine woman who's not a doctor, who doesn't do what the doctors do, but does something very different. Someone who does healing instead of treating, and someone who's really taken, I think, a very candid look at not, being a person who's just completely wrapped up, although I'm a favorite quite a bit, in confirmation bias. In other words, it worked for me, it's got to work for everybody. That's not true. It's absolutely not true that what works for me, is going to work for absolutely everyone. We have different environment, different inheritance. And I want to talk about this orthomolecular and biochemistry work that I do, as well as the intuitive sensory perceptive work that I do, as well as the background I have of even recently going through behavioral neuroscience and sensory and perception, sensation and perception, cognition and memory. So anyway, I hope this has been enjoyable. I tried to keep it under 10 minutes, and we're hitting it right now. So I'm going to say so long. And if you'll leave me your comments and help us get to 1,000, I'll bring back just quite a bit more. So thank you, and have a wonderful time wherever you are in the world, and I send you lots of love.